Twitter proves itself once again to be inhaling the liberal pathogen by banning Conservative speaker James Woods over an innocuous tweet. Speaking of Woods, Tiger Woods. Rod is raging again as he wins his first PGA tournament in about 6 years. And Japan lands on a fucking asteroid. Finally, there are lots of good indie games coming out, along with some top AAA titles. And I will talk about those and show you some video footage from the Tokyo Game Show. I go by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you're witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show. Hello people, so it's time to get woody. There are two Woods on today's episode. The first is a guy called James Wood. Now this guy, I actually follow him on Twitter, and I follow him because he's a conservative, which means he's not insane and he's very outspoken. He just speaks his mind on anything, so he's quite good crack, is old James Woods. Actually, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, so I wikied him. And he's an actor and a voice actor. Have you seen the movie Casino, directed by Martin Scorsese? It's amazing. Sharon Stone is also in it. She's well fit, and she got an Oscar for her performance. And her boyfriend, her slimy, nasty, sleazy, creepy boyfriend in that movie, I think it's called Lester Diamond or something, or Lester something, was Sharon Stone's boyfriend that she was having an affair with. Behind the back of the main character, Robert De Niro, in the movie. And James Woods played that character to perfection. One of my best mates, Luke, are you watching? Probably not. But my mate Luke loved James Woods' performance in Casino. If you haven't seen Casino, I recommend to go out and see it. So why are we talking about this random aging Hollywood actor? Well, because Twitter just banned him, and I want to share this with you because it's kind of fucking mad why they banned him, and it's kind of funny, but for all the wrong reasons. So James Woods tweeted this meme, and it kind of looks like a joke, but it could be serious because liberals are so mad these days. It's a picture of 3 complete cucks, and the caption says, "We're making a woman's vote worth more by staying at home." So men rolling over, being emasculated, which is the current trend. This is very liberal, left-wing kind of propaganda, but it's so ridiculous it's probably a joke. Now, James Woods, who is a conservative speaker, as we've already established, he has 1.5 million Twitter followers, and Twitter banned him for this reason. They said to James Woods, "Hello, we received a report about one of your tweets which includes text and imagery that has the potential to be misleading in a way that could impact an election." Right, so this guy posting an innocuous meme is influencing a general election, and you banning him, a conservative speaker with 1.5 million followers just before the midterms, is not trying to influence an election. When will the left and liberals' obsession with censorship and banning free speech end? Because they're just digging their own grave. Any reasonable person can see that meme is totally fine. And what is very fucking scary is that the biggest, most influential companies in the world, Twitter, Google, they are liberal to the fucking core. So they are the ones that decide what is hate speech, what is right, what is wrong, what is morally acceptable, what is virtuous, what is good, what is bad. And so that sets a very dangerous precedent, because if the people controlling these big communication companies like Facebook, Google and Twitter are the moral arbiters, then it could also work against them, because If a right-wing company becomes really big, then they get to define the rules. What is hate speech? What does and what doesn't influence an election? So I don't know about you, but I don't want anyone controlling these big communication companies dictating what is good for me and what is right and wrong. Don't fucking insult my intelligence. I am smart enough, and so are most people, voting people, to look at anything without being harmed and come to their own sensible conclusion. So Twitter is banning conservative speakers before some elections coming up, and they do what all liberals do. They perpetrate something and then they blame the victim. So, for example, they will say something racist, like white people shouldn't be allowed to do this, and then they call everyone racist. So in this case, they ban someone who has loads of conservative followers before an election and then say, he's trying to influence the election. A lot of mainstream liberal thinking is completely mad. So that happened. I don't like talking about politics because I don't generally know anything about politics, but I do know bullshit when I see it. So I wanted to draw your attention to that. What can you do? Fuck, man, I don't know. Post something on Twitter to fucking Jack Dorsey and say, mate, sort your shit out. Moving away from politics, we're going to talk about Tiger Woods. Now, Tiger Woods' rod is raging again. My man Tiger, he hasn't won a PGA Tour tournament since 2012. So it's been about 6 years. As you all know, Tiger Woods kind of went off the rails, was banging loads of birds and stuff like that. And hey, man, you know, one of the richest sportsmen in the world, not exactly an ugly bloke, loads of birds throwing themselves at his feet. Of course he's going to get his end away on a regular basis. Any bloke in that situation would do it. So I don't feel that bad about it. He's not like an abuser or anything, but his game went off track, as you all know, and now he's back, basically. So I'd like to take you through some of this news because, hey, man, then we're going to get onto something really fun with Tiger. So, according to the Belfast Telegraph, Tiger Woods ends 5-year drought with Tour Championship win in Atlanta. First since 2013, so it's about 5-6 years. An emotional Tiger Woods struggled to comprehend how he had pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in sport with victory in the season-ending Tour Championship amid amazing scenes in Atlanta. And this is after Tiger had spinal fusion. I don't know what that is, but it sounds bad. They're doing some major surgery on the guy's fucking back. And he was also found slumped over his fucking wheel, passed out drunk about a year ago. So what's clicked for the Tiger, the raging Tiger, I have no idea. But he's still golf's main attraction. So I just like seeing elite golfers. And this guy is clearly, he was one of the best golfers of all time. So it's kind of good to see him back. Now, the reason I brought up Tiger Woods was because recently he made this amazing comment. So, sorry to go back to politics, but the liberal media baited him and they said, what do you think about Donald Trump? And the way liberals are the most racist of all. Like, people who are far right, they're quite openly racist, but liberals are all like secretly racist, the far left. For example, liberals, or extreme liberals, and I say extreme, but extreme liberalism is becoming mainstream, which is very concerning. So, a lot of liberals, they just think black people are like little kids, they're little infants, and they, because of their history, they need to be looked after and coddled with a pat on the head, and you need to say the right things for the camera, and you need to say Donald Trump's a dick, and vote left, and just do your part in order to get a left-wing candidate into power, and then fucking be on your way. They don't see black people or minorities as individuals. They see them as a group of people with a similar mentality, and that's the real racism. And so this baiting liberal media asked Tiger Woods, what do you think of Trump? And his response is fucking legendary. So let's just play this to you, what Tiger says. So this is why I love Tiger, because he's not an insane liberal. Listen to this.
The President of the United States, and you have to respect the office, and no matter who's in the office, you may dislike the personality or the politics, but we all must respect the office.
Do you have anything more broadly to say about the state, I guess, the discourse of race relations?
No.
Do you have anything to say about the discourse of race relations? He's just finished fucking 18 holes of golf, you silly wanker, and you're trying to ask him about Donald Trump and fucking race relations because that is your whole tribal code. As soon as you start buying into that nonsense, I'm a victim and I'm black and it's also bad for me, then yeah, you have to vote left and we're going to save you. This is just the nastiest way to get people onto your political side and vote. It is racism.
I just finished 72 holes and really hungry.
I don't blame.
So Tiger Woods is black, right? So we're going to have to ask him about like blackness and black people because all the liberals do is they see shit in colour. I got respect for Tiger after that comment, after that little interview. So Tiger is back in the mix. Long may it continue. Looking forward to seeing more of his success. So next up, yeah, Japan has landed on a fucking asteroid, which is kind of big news because they tried to do it a few years back and they basically failed. But now they've done it. And the main thing to take away from this is the photos. They look completely mad, right? So look at these photos. This is one of the, what is it? Robot rover jumping between the two asteroids. That is alien rock right there. And apparently they've got some explosive charges and they're going to blow up some of the surface of the asteroid. Doing what humans do best, blowing shit up. And then they're going to take some samples and bring it back. And those samples of rock are going to be untouched by the radiation that is just constantly around the Earth. Me being the top scientist that I am, it's very easy for me to explain these things. But basically, they're apparently going to look at how radiation affects stuff by comparing what's going on the asteroid to some of the similar materials on Earth. And who knows what they might find on there. I hope they might find some aliens and stuff. There's another shot. This is just the inspiration for many a sci-fi movie, isn't it? So I'm hoping there's some groundbreaking discovery. These rovers do look very weird. They look like the AIDS virus when they zoom in, these spiky kind of balls floating around. And there is the dice-shaped asteroid. So I thought I'd mention that because I live in Japan. And yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of my fellow Japanese scientists who have landed on a fucking asteroid. So next up, we're going to talk about video games. So there's quite a few indie games coming out. And you will know I've been critical of indie games if you've been watching my show in the past. But I think I might be coming round. So let's first have a look at a game called Rival Mega Gun. So this is influenced by anime. I don't think it's Japanese because it has those Western hallmarks. But anyways, have a little look at this. Round one. So it's kind of cross-pollinating the fighting genre with a top-down 2D shooter. I like the way it's kind of pixely and not perfect. That's very retro, very vintage. Looks like one of these games where there's just millions of fucking bullets everywhere and your eyes are going to melt as you attempt to navigate your way through the bullet storm. So, yeah, I just think there have been a few classics in this genre over time. I used to play this game called Darius and Gradius. They were really good, so I'm kind of looking forward to that one. The next one is called Fight Night. Now, this looks fucking mental. Has great sound. So the interesting thing about this game is that, of course, it's modeled on very old video game hardware, but the video game hardware that looked like this, it definitely wasn't able to run first-person shooters. If they tried, it would be very, very glitchy and just 1 or 2 frames a second. But this is very smooth, so it's taking the graphical style of the older limited machines, but then taking it into new places and taking it a step further by making it super smooth. So I like this in contrast to other retro games because it's kind of making something new you haven't seen before as opposed to just straight out looking retro. Coming to PC 2018. PC Master Race, you are deplorable. I'm a Mac man, so maybe I'm never going to get to play this game. Fight Night. So yeah, I think that's quite enough of that, but I think that looks decent. Now, this game, Black Future 88, these are all featured in the Tokyo Game Show, which has just taken place in Japan, and this was the only video I could find of this game, recent video, and it's Japanese, taken at the Tokyo Game Show. And this caught my eye because it's very much modelled on the classic science fiction movies. It uses the whole vaporwave, retro Miami colour scheme of pink and green and purple and rich blue that I was loving before that even came back into fashion. I always loved those colour combos, but now it's all the rage. It's almost a saturation point in that style, but it really is modelled on those vintage sci-fi movies. And so yeah, as I said, it caught my eye, but it does look like a lot of other indie platformers where you just run and gun, so the jury is still out on whether this game will be any good. The graphical style, if that's any hint or indication of the quality of the gameplay, it's going to be quite decent. Black Future 88. Next up, very, very excited about this game. Battle Princess Madeline. Now, even the title screen, if you're a hardcore gamer, you will know that it's a rip-off of the classic Ghouls and Ghosts game by Capcom. Very difficult game. That is an absolute classic, and the gaming world has been clamoring for a true spiritual sequel to the latest true Ghouls and Ghosts game, which was Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo. And this is basically it. Capcom did release a sequel on the PlayStation handheld, but it had a life bar. You could take about 5 hits or 6 hits before you die, and that was against the spirit of Ghouls and Ghosts. The whole point is 2 hits and you're dead, and that influenced all of the gameplay, the risk versus reward and so on, and it made it really tough and challenging. So as long as this game, Battle Princess Madeline, contains a 2-hit death, I'm very excited, and it's just great that we're going to get a kind of fan sequel to Ghouls and Ghosts. I think it's probably not too hard to code if you're an experienced coder, and therefore it being fan made, it might be even better than what Capcom would do, because fans often love the games more than the developers themselves. So fingers crossed Battle Princess Madeline's going to be shit hot. And finally is this really weird horror game that looks like it's running on a vintage Game Boy called World of Horror. Like the music, very trippy. That's your home? What the hell? How is that your home? You've got to be a hobo if that's your home. You wandered into a building to shoot up. So this is quite intriguing. You don't see games like this every day, that's for sure. And look, there's a needle going into her eye. That's fucking horrible. So whether this can be scary with the graphics being so limited is the question, but that looked kind of interesting. Now, there's a few other games at the TGS Tokyo Game Show that I kind of just wanted to talk about and show you. So the first one is Sekiro, which is a ninja game, and it's made by the same people who made the Dark Souls game and the Bloodborne game, both of which are classics. So this is extremely exciting. It's clearly going to be good because those games were good that I just mentioned, and the graphics are sexy. So you've got a lot of particle effects. Japan's famous for its autumn leaves, and of course its cherry blossom, and both of those are in the game en masse. So you can see when this kind of possessed female demon tries to strike you with her weapon, she kind of whips up all the leaves that descend around her, and it just looks beautiful. And there's a lot of very nice graphical contrasting in this game. So at one point you'll be in a subterranean cavern, and then you'll come out and into this well lit area with the sunbeams kind of poking through the trees and leaves. And man, I'm just in love with the graphics of this game. And there was a game for PlayStation 1 way back in the day called Tenchu, which is basically just like this, but at the time there was nothing like it, and anyone who's fantasized about being a ninja loved that game. It was as much about the gameplay as it was your own imagination, walking around and creatively dispatching of your foes as you watch them ignorantly walk around while you're on the rooftops. And this looks like a sequel to Tenchu, so Again, like the game before, which looks like a spiritual sequel to Ghouls and Ghosts, this looks like a spiritual sequel to Tenchu. Super excited about this game. I'm sure you are too. That's coming out in March next year. And the other game I just want to show you quickly is Death Stranding. So Kojima had a falling out with his game publisher, and now I think that's for the best, because it's forced him to relinquish control of the Metal Gear brand and do something different. And this game looks very fresh. Death Stranding. The game's still shrouded in mystery, but it's so creative. It's so creative. Like these weird tracking devices they have on their shoulders. I don't know what they do. They're kind of freaky, but really cool and somehow believable. Even though there's a lot of fantasy in this game, it's somehow believable and relatable. So yeah, amazing graphics, which are it's just a hallmark of a Kojima game, really. And this is the star of the show, this huge demon dog with the golden mask. And again, it's also relatable and familiar. This demon pours its face. See there? Pouring its face. We've seen that before when cats do that. And so, even though it's an alien creature, it feels relatable. And you can suspend your disbelief in this game, I think. Look at that. Crazy creativity on show. So Death Stranding, yeah, really excited. So it looks like the PS4 is basically running away with it. Death Stranding, I'm not actually sure if this is PS4 or Xbox, but yeah, it's for PlayStation 4. As for the Ninja game, that is multi-platform, so you can get that on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, so everyone can enjoy that. So look, I was just really feeling those games. How about you? Which of those games do you like? Did I introduce you to any new games? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'd love to hear your opinion. I'm sure you're going to be as excited about them as I am, but even if you're not, please let me know. So now, I've done enough chatting about random bullshit. Let's get even more random. Let's talk about my life. So I played at a festival on the weekend just outside of Tokyo in a very large dystopian greenhouse, which was fun. So I'll be uploading my DJ sets soon. You can hear them. I've got 2 of them. You might get both. So that was decent. And also my cheese and cayenne pepper fetish is kind of dying. There's only so much cheese you can eat. I tell you, mate, when you eat a 500 gram mountain of cheese like this on a daily basis, you kind of get sick of it. So I think I've killed that. I will go back to the staple roast chicken as of tomorrow, I believe. And yeah, I just think DJing's kind of dead. No disrespect to the DJs playing at this event, but now DJing's all automatic. And for me, the thing which really made DJ awesome was the competitive aspect. DJs wanting to be better than one another. But if it's all automatic now, there's not really a lot separating DJs. I'm not saying there aren't some outstanding DJs out there, but generally it's all too easy now. And before, when mixing wasn't automatic, the crowd might have been ignorant to the fact that the DJ was using so much concentration and skill in order to blend together 2 records of different tempos, but still that did affect the atmosphere and mood and flow of the night. And so without that, I think people are really missing out, and the sad thing is they don't even know it, but it is what it is. With all the new technology, there are now other ways to make yourself stand out with effects and looping and stuff, but there was something about matching 2 records manually that were both recorded at different tempos that was very satisfying. You really got in the groove. So DJing is kind of, it's not in a good state, and I think it's no coincidence that this technology and also the rise of EDM has really hurt the DJ industry. Like all these major industries, at one point they were quite credible, and then when it goes mass market, it basically kills them. And now we consume music with streaming so at such a rapid rate that the attention span and demand for the really decent stuff, the stuff that's made with passion by people who love the music is obviously not what it used to be. But there's still some good shit out there. You know, I still hear a lot of wicked tracks, especially in the tech house genre. People are making some wild ass music. So go and have a listen to the new tech house tracks. Go to beatport.com, beatport.com, and listen to the tech house tracks, because in spite of what I've said, they're still fucking doing mad shit in the tech house genre. So that's kind of what's going on in my life. As for the mailbox, Alucard Murcielago asks, what microphone is that? It is a Phantom Classic number 1042 by the German company known as Brauner. This microphone was made as a rival to the most popular microphone in the world, which is the Neumann U87. The Neumann U87 was upgraded or not upgraded, but slightly changed in the 90s because the original parts couldn't be manufactured anymore for some reason. And so there are two models of this classic mic floating around, the Neumann U87 and the Neumann U87 AI. This one, I don't know which model it was modeled on, but probably the vintage one, because the owner, the CEO of Brauner, Mr. Dirk Brauner, he loves vintage microphones. So this is modeled on one of the most famous mics of all time, and I always like to go with something a little bit different. And this microphone, if you pair it with a good preamp, it is fucking sexy. If you pair it with a bad preamp, it's a bit sibilant and it's a bit hissy, but yeah, pretty good one. I'm still threatening to bring out my $10,000 mic by the same manufacturer. You want to hear it? If you want to hear it, I'll bring it out next time, but you need to ask me in the comments first. Finally, something I'm loving right now. Something I'm loving is my hair. I love this new haircut. Just a little bit short on the sides. I'm feeling it. It's a little bit edgier. So I'm really, really happy about this haircut. I fucking love it. I'm going to wear it out for as long as I can. And I'm also just loving video gaming. Slowly getting back into it. As you can see, my show is getting more video game orientated. And I played Mega Man 11. Downloaded the demo. Just dipping my toe in. I don't want to go into the fucking rabbit hole vortex quite so soon. But I did play Mega Man 11. Didn't really like it because it plays like the original games, but they upgraded the graphics, so it looks a little bit kiddie. Not sure of this kiddie 2D style. I think the originals were much more charming and elegant, but maybe that's my rose-tinted nostalgic glasses speaking. Anyways, kind of getting back into gaming and really looking forward to Sekiro, man, that ninja game. That I got a raging Arnold for that game. So that's about it for today's Johnny Massacre show. I hope it wasn't too political. I feed off your comments like a vampire feeds off innocent maidens. So leave comments in the box below, because I just love your feedback. I love your questions. I love hearing from you. Hey, ask me some questions. I'll pluck them out of next episode's mailbox tomorrow and give you my astute answers. So I went by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you've been witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show.